From the Millersville University Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kyle Elliott here with the medium range forecast and video discussion issued on Wednesday, November 27th. Well, meteorological winter officially begins on Sunday, December 1st. And wow, boy, does it ever look like it's going to start on an unseasonably cold, windy, and frigid note across the eastern United States, not only for the first couple days of the season, but perhaps even the entire first week or even 2 weeks of December. We're currently in the middle of a large-scale jet stream reconfiguration across North America, and ultimately what we're going to see with that reconfiguration is a massive ridge or northward bulge in the jet stream build over the western United States and then also extend northward into western Canada and Alaska. In response to that massive ridge over western North America, the jet stream is going to take a sharp dive southward across eastern North America, and that's going to lead to that unseasonably cold, persistently frigid and windy pattern across the mid-Atlantic states. And you can see that here, taking a look at the large-scale upper-level pattern as a whole for the medium-range period between Friday night and the middle of next week. You'll notice this massive ridge right along the U.S. West Coast, extending northward, like I mentioned, into western Canada. And in response to that, you have this deep dip in the jet stream over eastern North America, with essentially a piece or a lobe of the polar vortex sitting to the south and east of Hudson Bay. So what we're going to see here through the medium range forecast is persistent west to northwesterly flow out of Canada, driving that cold Canadian air into the eastern United States. And as a result, your 2-meter temperature anomaly, which is essentially the same thing as the surface temperature departure, is going to look really negative across the central and eastern states from this weekend through the middle of next week. Locally across the lower Susquehanna Valley, northern Maryland, and southeastern PA, it looks like temperatures are going to average 4 to 8 degrees below normal this weekend through the first half of next week, and I really don't see much change through the middle and latter part of next week either. So these temperatures would actually average lower if it were not for that persistent breeze, keeping overnight lows only a degree or two, perhaps as much as 3 or 4 degrees below normal on a couple of nights in the medium range period. But it's really going to be those daytime highs that are going to be well below normal, really skewing this temperature departure down into that 4 to 8 degree range below average. So as we take a look at the GFS model for 1 p.m. on Saturday, again, you'll notice that deep trough over the eastern United States. Really, the isobars are going to be very tightly packed over the mid-Atlantic states. Isobars are lines of mean sea level pressure. When they're really tightly packed like that, that really indicates those strong gusty winds. So I expect wind gusts on Saturday of at least 25 to 30 miles per hour. And the European model shows the exact same thing. You're going to see the GFS and the Euro really in close agreement throughout the medium range forecast period. And there's not going to be much change on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. You can see that as I skim through the panels really quickly there. You still have that persistent northwesterly flow out of Canada each and every day. So the GFS suggests that that northwesterly flow is going to be a little bit stronger early next week in comparison to the Euros. There's the GFS by Tuesday. Here's the Euro by Tuesday. If I go back a few frames, there's the European model on Monday and the GFS model on Monday. So the GFS does suggest that that northwesterly flow and those isobars are going to be stronger and more tightly packed respectively over the mid-Atlantic states early next week. So if the Euro is right, winds won't be quite as strong on Monday and Tuesday, but they'll still gust up to around 25 miles per hour. If the GFS is right, well, we're going to see those persistent 30-mile-per-hour gusts each afternoon from Saturday right on through the middle of next week. But regardless of how strong those wind gusts are, yeah, it's going to be really cold out there. Fortunately, there will be partial sunshine each afternoon. Skies in a pattern like this with winds over the Great Lakes will be mainly clear at night. But again, that persistent breeze is going to help keep temperatures in the low to mid-20s for most nights from Saturday night through the middle of next week. But wow, during the day, high temperatures are going to struggle to reach the 40-degree mark. In fact, they're probably going to fall short of it in most spots northwest of the I-95 corridor, not only on Saturday and Sunday, but also Monday, Tuesday, and perhaps even every single day next week. Average highs in early December are generally in the mid to upper 40s, so yeah, high temperatures are going to be around 10 degrees below normal during the medium range forecast period. One thing you'll notice is this snow just downwind of the Great Lakes region. Yeah, this is going to be a major lake effect snowfall event with these westerly winds blowing over the still warm waters over the Great Lakes. You're going to have feet of snow in the snow belt regions downwinds of Lake Erie and Ontario. So farther inland, you'll be measuring snow in inches, but wow, downwind of these Great Lakes in the snow belt region, you'll probably need a yardstick or maybe even 2 yardsticks to measure the snow in some spots through the early part of next week. But anyhow, taking a look at the medium range campus weather service forecast, partly sunny, windy, and cold on Saturday, high 38. Cold and blustery Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with partly sunny skies on Sunday, mostly sunny skies on Monday, and then a mix of clouds and sun on Tuesday. Again, highs every single day in the mid to upper 30s. So fortunately, there really isn't going to be much of an impact in terms of precipitation for the medium range period. However, if you are driving, you are going to need to maintain a tight grip on the steering wheel with those gusty winds out there, and you're also going to need to dress in layers and wear winter coats, and really avoid prolonged exposure to that cold air outside without those layers or a winter coat, because even though the wind chills on most of these afternoons will be in the 20s, they'll only be in the teens in the early morning hours. So if you do have prolonged exposure to that kind of cold, you can develop frostbite within the matter of about 50 to 60 minutes or even an hour and a half. You're not going to develop frostbite at these kind of temperatures and wind chills in the matter of minutes, but yeah, you do want to avoid prolonged exposure to this kind of cold for more than 1 to 2 hours at a time. Anyhow, that'll do it for this edition of the Medium Range Forecast. Tune back in next Wednesday for the latest edition. Until then, have a happy, safe, and healthy Thanksgiving, and remember to bundle up out there this weekend through the middle of next week.